Good morning and happy new month to you. If you can hear me and can see my screen, kindly type in happy new month in the comment section, please. If you can hear me and can see my screen, kindly type in happy new month in the comment section, please. Oh, great, great. Happy new month to you. Um, Moise, happy new month. Good morning. Hey, Carrie, happy new month to you. I'm glad to, I am glad to be alive, and I'm very sure you're also glad to be alive to see yet another beautiful month. And we do hope this month is going to be very, very profitable for every one of us in here. And as well, another advice is don't be afraid to try something new. Every day, don't be afraid to try something new. So, okay, happy new month to you too. All right. So, are we ready? Are we all ready? Personally, I'm so excited. I have positive results to share, and I know that you're also excited because if you took most of the trades we deliberated on yesterday, you will be in profit by now. So, with no much further ado, Panoy, hi Papa, shout out, great, great. How are you today? I hope you're excited to be here this morning. All right, great. Let's kickstart as usual. We will be starting with our UK oil. And what do we have here on UK oil? On the UK oil, price moved the other way after enjoying a bullish run during the course of last week. We begin to see signs that gave us the potential of a selling momentum yesterday. If you remember vividly what we talked about here during the course of yesterday's live session, we had this channel mapped out where we had this channel mapped out where we saw potential of a consolidation phase that has been happening in a while, and we were expecting that if we see a breakout of that structure and a retest, then we will be taking a bullish bias on this one. And on the contrary, we also mentioned that if we already have a breakdown of that bearish trend of that bullish trend line, and we said that if we see a breakdown of the structure and a retest into structure, we will take advantage of that bearish momentum to the downside. Lo and behold, it went as expected, as we saw that breakdown, we saw the retests, and it was matured enough for us to take that trade. Price moved over, I think, over 300 pips before we started seeing that. Before we started seeing, hold on a second, please. I think I got something mixed up here. Yes, price moved up over 100 pips to the downside before we started seeing price doing a retracement back into around the $118. Um, did anyone take advantage of this trade? Did anyone take advantage of this trade yesterday? Um, okay, sorry for the break. So I was asking, did anyone take advantage of this trade yesterday? If you are taking, definitely you'll have been profit and probably locked in some profit. However, we are in a situation right now that let's see what our expectation will be going into the New York session. So, with the take profit target still aimed at $112, we saw price do a retracement back into somewhere close to our entry zone. So at this point, we are not sure if price want to continue to the upside or probably price want to do a retest of this bullish trend line we identified during the course of yesterday's session. Probably price might come into this area and we could probably see further confirmations to join a decline to the downside. That's one possibility here. However, the second thing I also observed at this point is that we have a key level around this area which has been respected in the past and appears to have been respected again one more time. We can see what happened here. We have the first rejection, second rejection, then we had the breakout of structure around this area. Then price came back to retest the first time and then retested the second time at this point. So what this simply means that this key level at $115 is more of an important area to look forward to going to the New York session. And in addition to that also, we will notice that if we look further up, we will see that we also have another level around this area to play around with going into the New York session. So we have a level right here at $118. So now with the information we have here now, and now I want to, we saw this move from this, we saw the rejection of this move, we saw price move up close to the $118 area, then we saw a consolidation phase around this area, giving rise to an indecision happening in the market right now. So I want us to look at what is happening inside this area at this point. We want to look at what is happening here to now decipher where we're going, where we are going in the next couple of hours. So if we scale down to, let's say, the 3 minutes time frame, and then we map out the structure that is being formed around here, we will definitely see something like this. Give me my line chart, please. Okay, we have a resistance level here. I want to give it a purple to differentiate this from, and then I think we have a support level around here. Yes, we have the support level around here. So going back to our line chart, so with a support level around here and a resistance level around here, we can see with the visual representation that price has been oscillating within this area in the last in the last couple of hours. So now at this point in time, a breakout of structure will probably give us further signal to go up or down. If we have a breakout of that structure, then we want to be looking for a retest to take advantage of any. I'm sorry, we are not taking advantage of any bullish momentum right now, please. Let's hold on. We want to do selling. We want to be looking for selling opportunities here. And so what I will be looking forward to is a breakdown of the structure and a retest into structure, and we look out for patterns that support a trend continuation to the downside. So what happens here is this: if this happens, that is, if we see a breakdown of the structure and we see a retest into structure, then if we see a pattern that supports a trend continuation, that is a reversal pattern, it could be a head and shoulder, it could be a double top structure, it could be a 1 2 3 pattern, or it could be a rising wedge possibly. If we see any structure and we see a breakout of structure and retest of structure, then we want to take advantage of that selling opportunity. So this will welcome us adding one more position to this trade. So going back to our 1 hour time frame, we already seen that move breaking below that structure, but we still need some confirmations to add position to this trade. So mind you, if you're still in this trade, I want you to move your stop loss to somewhere around your entry point, move close to your entry point, and let's see what happens afterwards. So should we have a breakout of this area during the New York session, then we want to wait and see. We want to wait and see, because there is a possibility that price will come to do a retest of this bullish trend line, after which we see a further trend continuation to the downside. For me personally, at this point, I am thinking that a bullish momentum could probably be possible if price comes back into somewhere around here, either this structure here, this demand structure around this area, or this bullish trend line around here, after which I'll be looking for a trend continuation to the upside. But in the meantime, we still want to be looking forward to selling opportunities on this one. So what I'm advising at this point is we should move our stop loss to somewhere around your entry point, and then we anticipate further downtrend continuation on the UK oil. Any questions? I hope I'm clear on this one. I hope I'm clear on this one, please. Great. So let's move on to US oil. On the US oil too, we were expecting a similar scenario on the US oil, and we had price move in our direction, and price already hit TP on the US oil. Let's look at it again. Let's go to our 15 minutes time frame to look for those entry points that we anticipated, and we took advantage. Okay, let's go back to 3 minutes. So this was our expectation during the course of yesterday. We said so we saw price move, break down that neckline, then hit our stop loss on our buy position. Then price came back to reject that neckline, after which we saw price move outrightly down into $115.5, and we were able to close with around 300 pips on the US oil yesterday. So if you are taking advantage of this move yesterday, kudos to you. And that was a easy one, as price hit our take profit target within 4 hours. We hit take profit target. So now, remember, we were saying during the course of yesterday, we said we were waiting for price to retest this area that was broken. We saw price break out of the structure. We can hold on a second, allow me to give you a visual representation of what I'm talking about. So we had price breakout of the structure yesterday, and then we were expecting price to come and retest the structure, which has already happened, and we see this kind of structure at this point. So one thing I want to be looking out for at this point, after we've taken profits on the US oil here, then we had something that looks like a demand zone here, which is more like a double bottom structure. Hold on a second, please. So we have a double bottom structure here. Hold on a second. Let's label this for the sake of clarity. So we have a double bottom structure here, which is technically is a very strong reversal pattern, which also aligns with the structure that was broken earlier, that was retested, and we should be having our neckline right around this area here. We're having our neckline around this area. Let's give our neckline a purple. Good. And now we have a breakout of the neckline already. We can see that significant engulfing candle that pushed through the roof of the neckline to close above structure. So what we're expecting now as a confirmation is price to probably do a retest of structure, after which we look for patterns that support a trend continuation to the upside. So personally, we've already had a signal on this one. So we are waiting for confirmation in that regard to join that potential bullish momentum going into the New York session. So what this simply means is that we want to be having our entry point right above this neckline. That is after price has rejected that level, and then we will be having something like this. We'll be having our entry point right above here with stop loss right below the right below the neckline, and then with take profit target, let us aim at 120 one more time, because we hit 120 before. So we want to no, we didn't actually hit 120, we hit $119.95. So we want to aim at 120 one more time, and that gives us about over 400 pips a profit. So what I want us to be looking out for at this point is looking for a retest of structure, looking for rejections and patterns supporting a trend continuation to the upside. So now in this case, now that happened, in this scenario, we have this area also to look at. Allow me to delete all this, as this is no longer relevant at this point. So we no longer need this anymore. So permit me to delete that. So I've identified a structure around here that could welcome adding more position to this trade. So let's have it around here. Good. Okay. So we can see that this structure, this area has been respected some multiple times. We saw price reject that area before it was broken to the downside, and we are seeing a rejection at this point, probably to incite a trend continuation to the upside. So if we do have a breakout of that structure, then a retest of structure, we should add one more position to this trade. We'll take profit target still remains at $120. Yamal is asking that he wants to know if the entire market can fall in one day. Well, no one knows what the market is going to bring. Um, the only thing we do here is to look at what structure. We want to look at patterns. We want to look at the psychology of the market. We want to look at what has been happening in the past and use this information, this data, to decipher where price might be going in the future. So this was simply what we do here. We look at price movement, and then based on what price is giving us, we can now tell where price might be heading. How far price is going to go, we don't know, but we can actually use structures to determine the direction of price, but not how far. Okay, I think I answered your question, Yamil. If I don't, you can say something in the comment section and I would respond in no time. So thank you. So this is my expectation on the US oil going into the New York session. However, if we since we already took some profit on the US oil, I think the tendency to be more patient should be very strong at this point, as at least you're already profitable. And one thing we want to be looking out for again, another possibility we could be looking out for, is if we have a breakdown of this trend line here, then a retest of this trend line could send price going into 111.50 area, where I personally am expecting that bullish momentum to begin. So that is that situation here. So, and the other one, the third scenario on the US oil that we want to also look at is this. There is a possibility that price might not come back into this neckline. It's very, very possible. So we need to take that into consideration as well. So the possibility that price might not come down into that area is also there. So because of this, we also want to look at a breakout of this line at $116 area. If we see a breakout of that area and a retest into this area, then we look for like double top, double bottom, or inverse head and shoulder, or patterns that support a trend continuation to enter the trade. Then we have our stop loss right below this, right below here around $116. So with our take profit target at 120 as usual. So that is that on the US oil. So I hope my my explanation here is clear enough. So that's good. Okay. Mailer 20, good morning to you. You're welcome here and happy new month. So in the absence of no questions, we move on to Euro CHF. So on the Euro CHF, we were expecting a bullish momentum on the Euro CHF yesterday, and thank goodness we had that. Remember, I told you that we began this trade here on Monday. Price moved as expected. We saw the double bottom structure, we saw the retest, and we saw price move into that key level at 1.03400 area, after which we saw this move to the downside. And I made mention yesterday that this move, I want to see this move as a retracement phase, where we were looking for buying opportunity around this area. We are looking for buy opportunity around this area. We identified this area yesterday, and we are looking for structures. We are looking for reversal patterns that support the trend continuation in that regard. And if we go down to the lower time frame, we saw something like this. We saw this reversal pattern. We saw the breakout of structure. We saw the retest of structure, which confirmed that we are moving on a bullish momentum. And so right now we are about how many pips in profit? We are around 40 pips in profit now, and I'll be suggesting that we move our stop loss to break even at this point. Why have I said that? Okay, the reason why I've said that is this. If we look left, we can see that we have this bearish trend line identified on your chart as the red line. You can see it, and you can see that since 19th of May, we've been finding lower highs. If you look at structure, we had a high here. Hold on a second. We had a high here. We had a lower high here. We had two lower highs here. Then we are waiting for price to break above the structure to give us more confidence to add more position to this trade. So the reason why I've said that we should move our stop loss to breaking out this point is there is a possibility that price might not go as far as this. As if we see another lower high at this point, then definitely price might be tending towards a bearish momentum, and that could lead to a breakdown of that bullish trend line, after which a retest of that trend line will give us a confirmation of a trend continuation to the downside. So because of this setup we identify here on the chart, we want to be looking to ensure that we don't go into a loss position on this one. So we move our stop loss to around this entry point, that is break-even area. Then we want to be looking forward to an outright breakout of this bearish trend line, which also shares a confluence with the key level at 1.03400. After which, if we see a retest of that trend line and that key level, or probably price can come as far as down as this, then we want to be looking for structures that supports a trend continuation to the upside. So on the Euro CHF, we still remain bullish as long as we're still right above the bullish trend line on this one. So where is our take profit target? Our take profit target still remains at 1.06500, which also aligns with the bearish trend line we identified on the daily time frame. If we look at our chart on the daily time frame, we will notice that we have that trend line running. We had that bearish trend line running since March last year, and we are expecting that price would probably come into that trend line, and after which you might see a breakout of the trend line, or probably price do a retest or rejection of that trend line to send price crashing further down. So for this, at the meantime, we still remain bullish on the Euro CHF. So if you took advantage of that move yesterday, kudos to you. So we still look forward to further rise in price going into the New York session. So that is that on the Euro CHF. Any questions? Hello, Haron. Happy New Month to you. Plero for Carrion. What a long name you have here. Hello to you. Happy New Month. Think. Happy New Month to you, Think. The Parks. Happy New Month to you. So, Euro CHF is still moving as expected, and yes, one more thing here, one more thing. I placed the pending order right here at 1.03029. I did place a pending order because I was expecting, we can see that we had a structure around here. We had price rejecting that area multiple times in the last 6 to 8 hours, and because of that, I was expecting that price would break above that level, then a retest of that level could send price going to the upside. So if you are in this trade already, and if we see a retest of the structure, and we see probably a double top or double bottom structure or a reversal pattern, you could add one more position to that trade. So while your stop loss remains right below this area, and remember the first trade we took, our stop loss has already been moved to break even. Okay, you're welcome, Moise. You're welcome. So moving on to GBP JPY. We're already profitable on GBP JPY during yesterday, and what did we say yesterday? What did we say is going to happen yesterday? We said, okay. Yes. We identified this level yesterday, and I made mention that we already took this trade since Monday. Personally, I took this trade on Monday, and presently I'm running with about how many pips in profit now? We are running with about over 275 pips in profit on the GBP JPY. So during the course of yesterday, we saw price around this area. Price was around here, and I was telling you that the key level here at 1.61, 161.350 Japanese yen, a breakout of that area could be another opportunity to enter a buy potential on this trade. And luckily, unfortunate for us, we saw price move as expected, as we saw this double bottom structure, and price broke out of that area and moved to the upside. And so since yesterday, we've had about how many pips move? We have had around 156 pips approximately move on this one. So if you are taking advantage of the JPY2, kudos to you, kudos to you. So at this point, I would advise that we move our stop loss to lock in some profits. For me personally, I've moved my stop loss to somewhere around here. Personally, I've moved my stop loss to 162.400, and the reason why that is just because of at one point this area has been a resistant level, and you can see we had a breakout of that level here, and it came back to reject this level to push price further up. So if I see price break down that area, then definitely we might be on the verge of a reversal pattern at this point. So our take profit targets to remain around $164. Sorry, 164 Japanese yen, around this area. That's our first take profit target. However, in the long term, I'm expecting price to move as far as 175 Japanese yen. So one thing we want to be looking forward to, if price hits our take profit target, then we want to be looking out for a breakout of the structure, then a retest of structure to join a potential rally to the upside. So give me a moment. The reason why we have 175, let's go to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we can see the reason why we had 175 as our take profit target. On the daily time frame, we've been on a bullish momentum for quite a while, and this last impulse leg here was a clue, was a signal that the bullish momentum on this pair is huge, and we saw price do a retracement into the golden zone area, after which I'm expecting a trend continuation to the upside. And if we bring out our Fibonacci extension tool and run it through that impulse leg, we do have something that looks more like this, with our take profit target right between 141.4% and 127.2% extension of the impulse leg. So on a long-term perspective, I'm expecting price to come into this area. So we still keep our take profit target at 164 in the short term, and the reason why that is, if you look left, we can see that this area has been a strong resistant level in the past. We can see that, and so the possibility of this area being a resistant level one more time is very, very possible and cannot be taken out of the picture. However, if we do have a breakout of that area, then it now gives us more confirmation that buyers have actually taken over from where the sellers have been stalling progress. So a retest will give us further confirmation to join a trend continuation to the upside. So this might likely happen later on in the week, or probably the early part of next week. So this is so that is that on the GPP JPY. I don't know if you have questions and or further clarifications in that regard, so we can throw more light on. And if you are clear, then I'll accept silence as you. Okay. Okay, great. So we move on to AUD JPY. Already AUD JPY was profitable already since yesterday, and we have seen price move of about we're already about close to 200 pips in profit on this one. And personally, I've moved my stop loss to above structure here at 92.5 area. That is where my stop loss is at the moment on the AUD JPY. So actually AUD JPY did not give us any room for entry, as I was expecting that we could have a retest of the structure yesterday, but it didn't happen as price continued to find higher highs and lower highs from this point on. So if you're on the trade and you're still in, kudos to you. You can just move your stop loss to somewhere close, or you can take your profit outrightly. However, I'm still holding on to 93.5 as my take profit target, after which if we see a breakout of that level, then a retest will give us a confirmation that we should be going further up. However, going into the new week, I still suspect that this supply level will still do a supply on this pair going into next week. But let's where I'm expecting price to come into the supply zone, whenever I can tell this will happen today, come to the supply zone where we'll look for a respect of that bullish trend line, after which you look for a trend continuation to the upside. So on the AUD still have a lot of prospect for us to to squeeze some profit from. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and let us be patient, and time will tell how we should take advantage of any potential on this pair. So that is my expectation on Scott Benji. You're welcome. It's okay. Happy new month to you. I hope you're excited to start a new month with us. So we have actually talked about a couple of pairs. I think 4 to 5 pairs. If you could still hang around to the end of the session, where I'll be doing a quick recap of what we deliberated upon. So you're welcome, Scott Benji. So moving on to USD JPY. USD JPY was very profitable. We hit take profit yesterday, and I was so excited about it. And if you can see, we hit take profits. We took about 186 pips profits yesterday, and price still continued to find higher highs. However, we just hold on here and let's see how price plays out, and we look for further opportunities in the future. So, did you take advantage of that trade yesterday? I was telling you yesterday that if you had missed the Monday move, this let me give you a visual representation of what I'm talking about. This was the Monday move. We saw the rejection of that key level, and we took it on Monday. And price came around here yesterday. Price came back down. So, and I told you that the key level here at 128.050 is another area where we could take advantage of buy momentum, and a breakout move happened actually. And if you had taken that trade yesterday from this area, then you could have had like 95 pips thereabout. So if you took it, well done, kudos to you. Titus, how you doing? Good morning. So kudos to you. So let's go to a daily time frame and let us see what our expectations were on the USD JPY. Okay, and that was what we were expecting. We were expecting the breakout of that channel, and then we are right at a supply zone that has been holding as far back as April of this year. Resistant level here, supply level here, and it's still here. So price is right at a very sensitive area right now, and it is advisable that we just stay clear at the moment. And for you, for instance, if you are still holding the buy trade, then definitely you can still be in the trade and just put your stop loss right below structure around here, and then you can see what happened afterwards. There are two possibilities that could happen from this area. We could probably see a breakout of that supply zone and a retest into structure that could welcome addition to that trade, to the bullish momentum. However, there is also a possibility that price could reject this level and come back down into probably our key level here, or probably the bullish trend line we identified earlier. Let me extend this trend line a little bit. Okay, so we might see price come back into that trend line. Come back into that trend line to push price further up. So we never can tell what will happen from this moment on. So my advice on the USD JPY, let's just stay clear for now. We've taken our profits on this one. We are excited. We are good to go. So let's just stay clear and hold on. Let's just see what happens in the next 6 hours. I think 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, and let's from then let's decide what's going to happen. And remember, we have non-farm period on Friday, and so whatever is happening in the market right now, before now, I will be in anticipation of that Friday NFP release, and we want to be looking out for structures that will support a potential move to either side, buy or sell, whatever that is, and then we could make a decision on that. So for now on the USD JPY, let's just stay clear and watch price action, and let us see what participant in the market unfold to us on the chart. So that is that on the USD JPY. Alexander, you're welcome. Now moving on, we move on to Euro New Zealand. On the Euro New Zealand, we are still really struggling on Euro New Zealand. We've not yet had an execution on Euro New Zealand since Monday. Can you believe that? Since Monday, we've been expecting that bearish momentum, but it has not come as price continued to find itself struck within a consolidation phase. As we can see this, we can see this, hold on a second. I think we have a tool here to identify that. Okay, we have something like this. We have price has been caught within the consolidation phase since Monday, since last week thereabout. And what is our expectation on the Euro New Zealand? The first scenario, we have two scenarios on the Euro New Zealand. I was expecting price to come into this key level, or probably this trend line, which is at right now. We want to be looking for a reversal pattern that will send price coming down. So we had our first entry here. That's after the confirmation of that bearish trend has happened, then we could enter the trade at 1.65275. And then the other scenario we was expecting was that price will break down this neckline here at 1.64400, after which we will see a retest of structure, then patterns that supports a trend continuation to the downside. So none of these have actually happened, and so we still keep our fingers crossed on this one as we await further confirmation going into the New York session. So our take profit target still remains at 1.59990, which is around 400 pips if you are taking it from the neckline. And if we are taking it from under the key level, we are having around over 500 pips profit on this one. And I'm very sure as soon as price rejects either of these parameters we've identified here, I'm very sure it's going to be a very massive move to the downside. So we're still holding on to that bearish momentum as we've not yet seen any structure or pattern that suggests otherwise. So on the Euro New Zealand, we are still very bearish, and we're still holding on. We're still keeping our fingers crossed and waiting for patterns to unfold in our favor before we strike. One it's nine is saying that it's new and frankly don't understand anything about how the application works. Need help. Well, you're on a forum here where we deliberate on pairs or commodities we want to take advantage of going into the New York session, and we on a daily basis come here to talk about those pairs and do detailed follow-ups in that regard. So this is simply what we do on this side of the platform. The platform is a huge platform, but this area you are right now is we only come here to you can come here, bring in the commodity you want us to look at, and then we look at it together and make a decision on how we want to take advantage of any potential move, especially going into the New York session. So this is simply what we do on this forum here. I hope I answered your question. So that is that on the Euro New Zealand. So moving on, we move on to USD card again. We did a follow-up on USD card yesterday, and USD card went as expected. I think this is for someone who asked for the USD card, I think 2 days ago, and we were profitable 2 days ago, and again yesterday price moved as expected, but you can see we were here yesterday, and we were expecting price to break down. We saw this signal yesterday before we closed session, and then we were waiting for a rejection of this key level and trend line, after which we saw that big bang to the downside. So price moved around how many pips is that? Moved around 45 pips before we started seeing a retracement to the upside. So so that's two profitable trades in a row on USD card in the last 2 days. Now we don't. What's happening now? What's happening now? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. On a long-term perspective, is like I told you, I always prefer doing my analysis on a long-term perspective. And on a long-term perspective, I'm still expecting. I'm expecting a reversal pattern on long-term perspective, but I'm yet to find structures that will support that perspective. As I'm looking forward to something like this, it's either going to be a double. I'm looking forward to a double bottom structure around here that would give me a signal in the form of a breakout of structure, then a retest to join a potential rally to the upside. And there's also a possibility that we could have an inverse head and shoulder at this point. We have the right, this one, and then something like this to push price to the upside. So personally, that's what I'm expecting on this one. And the reason why that is also, you can see after that bearish engulfing candle that happened yesterday, we saw that price has been finding higher highs, and this area hasn't been at the 1.26 350 area. Price has been finding higher highs since testing that level. So personally, I don't have any short-term trade to give on the USD card, as the structure I have here does not give me currently have here does not give me a clue into taking any advantage. Let's see. We have a level here. We have a key level around this area. Okay, we have a key level here, and then we have a bullish trend line. We have a trend line evolving at this point, and this could probably be uh, pushing price upwards. Probably if you have a breakout of that trend of that key level, could push price further up to the upside. So personally, I would be looking forward to a breakout of that key level. That is, we have entry points right here, entry points right above that structure that is up above that key level. We have a key level at 1.26500, which is a very, very strong reverse, strong psychological level. Then we want to be having a buy potential by meter around here. So we have our stop loss right below structure here at around 15 pips. Then we have our take profit targets. This is where market opened this week. Market opened at 1.27269. So if we have that area too as our take profit target, let's see what happens. Or 1.27200. This might happen during the non-farm period. I don't know when it will happen, but let's just aim at around 66 pips on the USD card. Hold on a second. Right above this area. Okay, let me quickly come again on why I've chosen that area. The reason why I've chosen that, first of all, we had the breakout. You can see we had a price respecting this bullish trend line. Then we had something that looks more like a reversal pattern at this point. Then we had the breakout, significant breakout of that area, and this to me looked like a retracement. Then I will be looking forward to a further breakout of that structure. I'm taking it right away if that happens. Then if we see a retest of structure and pattern supporting a trend continuation, we want to add one more position to this trade. So please note that considering the long-term bearish momentum on this USD card, it is very, very advisable that you as soon as price move in our direction, you move your stop loss accordingly. Move your stop loss accordingly to guide your profits judiciously. However, if we do have a breakdown of the structure, if we do have a breakdown of this key level, then a retest into, sorry, if we have a breakdown of this bullish trend line, then a retest into this key level or this trend line, and we see patterns that support a trend continuation to the downside, then we could be taking a selling opportunity right below this area. Hold on a second, please. We could be having selling opportunity right below this area, then right this area or this area. So we stop loss right around that key level. Then where will our take profit target be? It's going to be a very, very short one. Because personally, I'm yet to, on the long-term perspective, I'm yet to see structures that will align. So it's a very, very small one. It's a very, very small one, like around 35 pips. Around 35 pips. So if it's worth taking for you, it's okay. So after what we'll be looking out for is if we have a breakdown, that's a signal, then we'll wait for a retest of structure, then we look for patterns that support a trend continuation to the downside. So but personally I'm tending towards a bullish momentum here because of the breakout of the key level at this point. And if price breaks back above that key level, I want to take advantage of that trade going forward. So that is that on the USD card. So last one we talked about the UPP USD, which which I made mention of yesterday. Personally, I already have like was it 3 positions already on this one? I think I have like 3 or 4 positions on this one. So on the USD card, we made mention of during the course of yesterday, we said um, we'll be waiting for a breakdown retest of this area to join this to join a further decline to the downside. So we saw a signal in the form of this breakdown. We saw a retest of the structure, and then price came back down. And right now, price is running with about how many pips in profit now? We have like 30 pips in profit at the moment. And so we have our take profit target still remain at 1.24750, and that's around 140 pips thereabout. So things are still moving as expected on the GPP USD. And one thing I would advise at this point is please move your stop loss to break even, because one thing, the reason why I said that is because of the structure I'm finding around this area. And this structure around this area is giving me the first and first I notice is the lower high, higher low rather, because if you see price came here and went up, and then price did not break down the structure but continue to find reasons to be rejected at this point, giving me uh, 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 giving me a doubt on this one. However, the strong rejection of this area, you can see the weak rejection of that key level. Weak rejection of that key level around here is also giving me a clue that we might be going further down on this one. So I'm still holding a bearish bias on this one. And so one more thing I want to add here is this: if we do have a breakdown, of this sorry, I think here if we have a breakdown of this um, if we do witness a breakdown retest of this bullish trend line, then we want to add one more position. It's a bullish trend line, then we look for structures on lower time frame, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes time frame, then we can add one more position to this trade. So we still aim at 1.24750. And one more thing I would like to say here is this: if price comes into 1.25300, I want you to move your stop loss again, or around here, just move your stop loss again. Then the last parameter to guide our actions going into the New York session is this bearish trend line identified here. So we have a bearish trend line here, and let's give it a red, emphasizing the bearish potential in the market. And we have something like this. We have this. Okay, so we will be using this as our guide going into the New York session. Sorry, excuse me. So we'll be using this as our guide to project this into the future. So we are looking forward to a further breakdown of that uh, further breakdown of this level, and then we could see something like this going into the future. So going into the New York session, we have three parameters that's guiding our action. We have the key level at 1.26200. We have this bearish trend line, and then we have this bullish trend line as well, as we expect a breakdown of this bullish trend line to give us further confirmation of a bearish potential on this market. So that is for today. Let's quickly do a quick recap of what we talked about since the beginning of this session. So the first pair we talked about is the UK oil, and on the UK oil, we expecting. I went as far as going down to the, I think, 5 minutes time frame to identify a consolidation phase around this area, and we already have that breakdown of that area, and we have the breakdown, we have a retest of that area. So if you had add one more position to this trade, to the selling potential on this one, then kudos to you already. We have your stop loss right above here, like around 117.6. Have your stop loss right above that area. So mind you, this is just the second position to the previous trade we took. But if you didn't take the trade we took yesterday, please don't take this trade, because it's very, very risky at this point, considering this double bottom structure we've identified here. So that is that for the euro, the USD, no, the US UK oil. So on the US oil, we observed that we already took profit on the US oil for the selling opportunity for yesterday. We took over 400 pips, and now we had this double bottom structure that was identified here on the 1 hour time frame. And personally, we've seen this breakout of structure. We saw the breakout of structure, and price appears to have come back into that area where we said we should take an entry on this one. So if you are taking an entry on this one, good. However, if you are not, then we still wait for price to come back down and then look for a reversal pattern around here to take advantage of that bullish momentum. Let's go to the 5 minutes time frame and let us see if we have a reversal pattern already forming. Okay, so we don't have a reversal pattern forming yet. So we'll wait for price to do that reversal pattern. And then to further guide our action going into the New York session, it's appropriate I just do this, run this Fibonacci retracement tool, and then identify that golden zone area and make it our entry point. So for the sake of clarity, we should be having somewhere around here as our entry point going forward to the New York session. So buying opportunity around this area. Let's label it already, so that's buy opportunity. So we have it right inside there, and so this is where we want to buy. If you've not yet bought the trade, so this is where to buy at this time. Hold on a second, please. I'm coming. Just need to. So this is where we want to buy at this point. So let's wait, be patient, be patient. If you miss it, we've missed it, forget about it, and let's move on. It's not a do or die thing. So if price comes back into this area, then we'll look for opportunity to take advantage of this trade. Take profit target remains at $120, and that's around over 400. That's over 400 pips potential profit on this one. So moving on to Euro CHF. Euro CHF is profitable. Price came back to our buy opportunity zone. We took advantage of it, and I also have another entry right above this key level here. So I suggested that if we have a retest of that structure, then you can add a position to that trade. And I also made mention of the fact that if we look left, we identified that price has been finding lower highs since on the 19th of May. And to further confirm this bullish momentum, we really need to see a breakout of that key level, which also shares a confluence with the bearish trend line. After if we look for a test of structure to add one more position to this trade. So that's that on the Euro CHF. Then we moved on to GBP JPY, where we're in profit already on GBP JPY, and the first thing I advised was to move our stop loss to 162.5. Our take profit target to remain at 163.5. If I were you, you might want to extend your take profit target to 164.5, whatever it is, and just keep your stop loss right at 162.5. And if you look at it, I think it's quite enough profit. 230 pips is enough profit. So you can move your stop loss here and extend your TP target to make sure you milk the move dry. That's if you have the nerves. So going on AUD JPY did not give us room to add more positions to this one as price continued to find higher highs and lower highs. So higher lows rather, and we're already around over 200 pips in profit on this one, and let's keep watching our profit ride. So on the USD JPY, we already took profit on USD JPY with around 186 pips yesterday as price broke through our TP target at 129 level. And I said we should just keep keep our fingers crossed on USD JPY as we want to see how price action plays out in the next 5-6 hours or probably a day to see if we still have something to take from this market. So then we talked about Euro New Zealand, where I said we're still struggling on Euro New Zealand as we're still expecting that bearish momentum in the form of the first scenario is if we have a breakdown of this neckline here and a retest into the neckline, we look forward to a trend continuation to the downside. And then the other scenario is if we have price come into that key level at 1.66 area, that is price come into this area, then we look for structures that support a trend continuation to the downside. So we have entry points around this area if that happens at 1.65301. And then I also made mention that this bearish trend line too could also be an area where we want to be looking for um, selling opportunities. That is, if we see price, oh sorry, price has already tested that trend line here, and then we want to see if price will do that the second time, then we break out of structure, a retest into structure, then we can adjust our entry from here. Sorry, from sorry, from here to somewhere around here. So that means, give me a moment, please. Let's see if we can see a structure that aligns with, okay, we have something here. Okay, so going back to our candle chart. So we have the first rejection of this. Then we might want to be looking for a second rejection. Then we want to see a breakdown of that structure, a retest to show. Then we want to take advantage of the sell continuation to the downside. So that is another scenario here on the Euro New Zealand. Then moving on to the USD card. We took profit on we took profit on USD card earlier, and price moves massively in our favor during the course of yesterday, and I made mention of another opportunity here, and I am keen to buying the USD against the card if price moves as expected. And what I said was this: I said since we had the breakout of this key level during the course of yesterday's trading session, I'm that gives me a sign that we have bullish potential at this area in the market. And what I'm looking forward to is price breaking above that key level to join a potential rally with about 166 pips with a TP target at 1.27200. And on the contrary, I also made mention that considering the long-term bearish momentum on the USD card, there is a possibility that price could break down that bullish trend line. We do a retest of that structure, then we can join a decline to the downside. This is not much, around 36 pips, take profit target. But I am of the opinion that we might be going for the bull considering this breakout of structure that happened during yesterday's trading session. So that is that on the USD card. Then on the GBP USD, I made mention that I'm still holding on my bearish bias on the GPUSD, and in addition to my analysis on GPUSD yesterday, I to make things easier for us, I made mention of I think three parameters that will guide our actions going into the New York session. The first one is the key level here at 1.26200, as we only want to see price below that area. And I already advised that we move our stop loss to break even at this point. Then the second one is I said that if we have a breakdown of this bullish trend line and a retest into structure, then we could add one more position to this. Then the third scenario is this bearish trend line, which is the red dotted line on your screen, which I said I expect price to continue to respect that trend line. As we can see in the past, price has been respecting it for some time, and I'm expecting that the respect will still continue to the downside. So these are my expectations on the GBP USD. I would have loved to share one more pair with you. I think two more pairs, but we are out of time. We are out of time on this one, and let's see what happens as time goes by. So on this note, I would like to thank you for being around with me. Personally, I'm so excited that to share this moment with you guys, and I look forward to see you guys tomorrow and continue to share the good news with you. So once again, I wish you a happy new month, and don't forget, remember, and don't be afraid to try something new every day. So on this note, I wish you best of luck.